Scanning for audio.
Hello, welcome to It In Dog Podcast, this time talking about the latest episode of The Mandalorian. Guess it's just one of those times of the week where I get to talk to you, my beloved friends, and have a chat. Some people are saying this is the single best episode of The Mandalorian this season. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good, mainly because of the end. But no, actually, who am I kidding? It's all to do with Grogu. Grogu and IG-12? That's what's going to be written on the Funko box when you get a little IG-88, IG-11 character with the little mech suit. Yes, superb, right? Now, I know I'm supposed to bang on about Moff Gideon and Gideon and the exciting end sequence, but let's face it, the whole thing opened with, let's have a hologrammatic chat. Yeah. Or info dump. Oh, you in the corner, are you trying to bring back the Emperor with the secret plan known as necromancy? Yeah. Now, I still want the last episode of The Mandalorian, or indeed the brand new Star Wars trilogy with Rey at its helm, to have Grogu in it, dressed in Mandalorian armour. So much so that I cannot stop thinking about building a Grogu armour little maquette thing, possibly for the shelf, because obviously I haven't got enough crap on my shelf already. What I am saying is that the episode clearly fits into a series of nice set pieces. You've got your hologrammatic meeting, which is setting up the background for the future. You've got the other hologrammatic meeting, which goes, hello, I'm Sinister Person who tortured the only person who could possibly help with the cloning technology. Why did I do that? We still don't know, because you could have convinced him to end up being on the other side and just tricked him into giving his research across. He still could recover. I just don't know. There is, of course, then there's the next scenes with your tiny Grogu mech suit. Sorry, absolutely loved it so much. And it is nice that he doesn't have to be carried around. I wonder how long it'll be before we see someone at a sci-fi convention dressed, well, they're very, very thin, aren't they? IG-11 with a little Yoda inside. Perhaps that's a whole different thing. It'll be a costume at some point. That's lovely, because then we've got the let's all go to Mandalore, and then they go, which is kind of what we thought would be happening at the end of the season. And this is almost the end of the season. Well, not very many episodes left, possibly one? I might have done the maths wrong. I might have named my episodes wrong. Or I might just not have been paying attention. Not paying attention is quite likely. So, you've got Grogu, IG-11, you've got all the Mandalorians, you've got the trip, and then we visit the planet with, this is going to be available as a Lego model, approaching them in the distance. And my first thought was, has it got wheels? Things with wheels always make me nervous in Star Wars, because I've only think, is there one? Is there one or two things with wheels? I know we get to see R2's wheels at one point, but is there one or two? I just don't know. What I need to say is that I'm sure that the wheel thing I can just live with. But that's not important. It's the where the Mandalorians were here, and then they get attacked by a giant sea land creature that definitely isn't a mythosaur, just to confuse matters, because they're on the lookout for another creature. Let's all go to the giant kiln. It's not. It's the forge. No connection to the Doctor Who forge. None at all. But after all, as Admiral Akbar would say, it's a trap! And then you've got your lovely traipsing and your self-sacrifice and your dark saber action. And you've got your monologuing villain in a cloak. What more do you need? Moff Gideon at least is doing something. He is a bit bogey in the sense of taking bits from different societies and bringing them together to produce something that suits his own purpose. You've got to have the darkest hour before the brightness, and the brightness should happen at the end of the series. Obviously, your Empire Strikes Back gets in the way of that. Was I expecting Boba Fett possibly to turn up? I don't know. Possibly as revenge for the 2.5 episodes of The Mandalorian that became the Book of Boba Fett. It's not important. What is important is that this was a cracking episode. I'm still not convinced it's the best one so far, but it is nice to see us back on form. And with that, I'll fade away and speak to you very soon. Probably about Doctor Who, but most probably about Mandalorian. So until next time, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter at tindogpodcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.